Video chats are the new norm, but they have some issues. Screens freeze, people talk with the mute button on, and you can't read people's expressions.
And while video chats help keep businesses running and people connected, it's also creating this digital brain drain.
Jim Quick, brain coach and author of Limitless, explains this new phenomena called Zoom fatigue.
Zoom fatigue is this vitality depletion that we feel with the constant influx of input through screens and our this onus to be able to perform.
Jim has 4 ways to combat Zoom fatigue. For starters, get moving.
As your body moves, your brain grooves. When we move, we tend to be more creative.
Studies show there's a dip in concentration at about the 25-minute mark. So,
take a 5-minute brain break because your brain needs to be able to rejuvenate and be able to recover.
If possible, take your meeting on the move instead.
When people are moving like on an elliptical, that they're going to actually understand and retain more of that information.
Next, remember to breathe.
Your brain is 2% of your body mass on average, but it requires 20% of the nutrients, which includes 20% of the oxygen.
A lot of the fatigue comes from poor breathing patterns, meaning that sometimes when we're sitting down, we're also slumped. So practice breathing methods.
There's all these breathing methods, but the main idea is to do it consciously. It helps to be able to stimulate and your mind to be able to clear those cobwebs.
At number 3, hydrate.
Just staying hydrated will increase your thinking speed and your reaction time upwards of 30%. I always have a glass of water when I'm at the computer having a Skype call or a Zoom call.
Finally, practice self-care.
Some people are doing Zoom calls at nighttime, and the blue light from screens actually fools the human brain into thinking it's daylight still.
So manage the timing of your video chats. When you say yes to somebody or something, you're saying no to yourself, meaning there's almost this peer pressure to be on all the time.
And I also think that meetings, even before we were doing all these Zoom meetings, a lot of meetings were not very productive to begin with. That they didn't have an agenda, they didn't have an outcome, they didn't have a purpose.
Before hopping on video chats, ask, can this information be communicated in other ways, like with Slack or email?
Because if technology is a tool for you to use, but if you're just doing it out of habit, then the technology is using you, and then who becomes the tool?
Clicking Leave Meeting to avoid Zoom fatigue is at the top of the list.